Hello everyone! In this week's video, I will be critiquing my viewers' art. Sometimes we'll see our art and see things that we don't like, but we don't necessarily know what it is that we don't like. Sometimes it's hard to see the things that we are doing wrong. I'm using air quotes because technically in art there aren't really things you're doing wrong. I don't know, it gets complicated. Anyways, it can sometimes be hard to see things that we can improve upon. It can be easier to see mistakes in other people's art compared to in your own art, so it can help to get feedback from others. Many people ask me to give feedback on their art. I never really like critiquing people's art because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I know it can be really helpful. So I asked all of you on my community tab to submit art to me to critique. So I picked a handful of pictures to critique.
And I'm not going to be critiquing everything in a picture. I'm just going to be picking a couple of things that I see and focusing on those, because or else I could be spending a lot of time on one picture and I don't want to overwhelm the artist with a lot of information. So I'm just going to pick like 1 to 3 things I see that can kind of be improved upon. Anyways, let's get started.
So this first picture is by Samay, and it's this picture of a boy. I feel like it's quite nice. I like the no line art style, and it's kind of painty-like. And now we're gonna get to the hard part of critiquing. One thing I noticed is that his nose is a little high up. I know that can be a stylistic choice. Some styles choose to have the nose kind of higher up on the face, but if it was up to me, I would move the nose down a bit.
I'm using a different tablet than what I usually use, so I'm still trying to get used to it. So I'll kind of rough in his nose. So something maybe a little bit like this.
So yeah, this is kind of what I would do. I would move the nose down just a little bit. And this is my style of nose. So you can do your own style of nose or however you want. And the second thing I wanted to talk about is the ear. His inner ear is, I can't quite make out the form of it. It kind of looks like a bunch of different colors. And so I'm going to try to fix up his ear a bit. So I'm going to select the skin tone and then draw over it. And I'm also going to connect it into his face. So you have the 2 different colors, but the ear is kind of on the same plane as the face.
With using the different colors, it does help tell the difference between the ear and the face, but it also makes the ear look like it's behind the face. So I'm going to kind of connect it into his face like this.
So now I'll kind of feel out the form of his ear. And for the ear, I keep things pretty simple. I just draw this little like bump here, and then I have the rest of the inner part of the ear. You can get more fancy and complicated if you want. I tend to keep things pretty simple in the ear. So I'll just go like that and blend things out with the blending tool a bit. So that's kind of how I would adjust the ear. So here's the before and here's the after. We can kind of make out the form of the ear just a little bit more, and that can be kind of helpful. So I hope that's helpful a little bit. I really like your style and your coloring's really cool. So I guess we'll move on to the next person. So this picture is by Tacro Sim. This character is quite cute. I really like their eye and their outfit. One thing I wanted to touch on is the shape of the head. So I'm going to lower down the opacity of the picture a little bit so you can see what I am talking about. So if this is their eye right here, and then we have the shape of the head. Right now, their head seems to be shaped kind of like this. With the way the eye is placed and where the top of the head is, it makes it look like there's not much room for the brain. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make the top of her head bigger. I might just try to transform your drawing a little bit. So I'm gonna select this and then transform it. I'm just gonna make the head overall taller, and that way we get more space for the forehead and the cranium. I might paint over this a little bit just to help things look a little neater. So just by adjusting the top of the head a little bit, it now feels like we have enough room for the cranium and the forehead. So here's the before and here's the after. Now on to the next picture. But first I want to mention that this video is being sponsored by Boxu. Boxu is a monthly snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings. They are the only Japanese snack box that partners with 100-plus-year-old family snack makers to deliver Japan-exclusive snacks to your door. Inside the box, you get a 20-plus page culture guide magazine that details each product's origin, flavor, and even common allergens. I love how Boxu gives you so much information about the snacks you receive. In the classic box like this one here, you'll receive 20 to 25 Japanese snacks, candies, and a tea pairing curated around a fun cultural theme. The first box you receive when you join the Boxu community is the Seasons of Japan box, handpicked to give you the best taste of premium Japanese snacks across all 4 seasons. My favorite snack in this box was the Amori Apple Caramel Yakoi Sabo. It was so soft, it also tasted and smelled delicious. It was so good. My sister and I also really liked the white strawberries. It was like you took strawberry and white chocolate and made them into one thing. It was like nothing I have ever had before, and it tasted really good. Oh, also, I really like the Koi Kiwa Minutes Stick Potato Super Mucho Plum. When I was reading about the flavors for these potato chip-like things, I wasn't sure if I'd like the flavor, but they are actually really good. You can order an individual box, single month, or multi-month subscription starting at $24.99 per box. Your box is sent with free shipping and tracking to over 40 countries. Also, because Boxu is sponsoring this video, you get 10% off your own Seasons of Japan box when you use my link in the description. If you want to try Japanese snacks and tea, I definitely recommend Boxu. Thank you so much to Boxu for sponsoring this video. I had so much fun trying the snacks. This picture is by Spirit Wings. The character looks really cool. I really like their hairstyle and their outfit's really neat. One thing I wanted to discuss is shading with the airbrush tool. So I noticed a lot of your shadows are really soft, and it is okay to have soft shadows. But one thing I want to point out is that when using the soft brush, you want to be careful because both sides are soft, so sometimes you end up with lighter colors where the shadows should be getting darker. So like here on his head, you have a shadow right here, but it's getting lighter towards where his hair would kind of be slightly casting a shadow, and also kind of here. And also down here on his torso, like right here by the armpit, it's darker on both sides, but then right in the middle by the line, it gets lighter. And so that's one thing you want to be careful about when shading with the soft airbrush tool. So I'm not going to completely recolor this picture, but maybe I'll go over this black jacket thing and try to explain what I mean. So if I were to color this, I would make it the darkest right by the armpit because not much light is going to be there. So I'm going to darken that up.
And I'm also going to try to add some wrinkles a little bit. I'll try to follow the same form you have for the body because I'm not really critiquing the form of the body at the moment, just mostly the shadows. So even here, the shadow that's being casted by his hoodie, it's once again getting kind of lighter where it should be getting darker because of the soft airbrush tool. So we're going to try to make that get darker there. I'm going to blend these out in just a little bit with the blending tool.
And now that's getting darker in more of the edges, we can see that his armpit kind of has a lot more depth to it. That sounds funny to say, but here it kind of just looks like they're on the same like plane, I guess. But here it looks like the armpit is kind of its own thing. It's no longer blending in with the rib cage. I might also just try to clean up the shading a little bit as I'm doing this. I might only do one side. And for harsher shadows and lighter shadows, it can be kind of hard to tell when to use which one. I most time use harder shadows when it's something that's like a casted shadow. So for something like under this hood, I'd like slightly blend it out, but I'll let it be a little harsher because it is being casted by the hood. And for shadows that are going around round objects like the shoulder here, I want it to really fade out because the shoulder is very round, so I don't want it to look edgy by putting harsh shadows on it that have a hard edge. Okie dokie, so here's before and here's after. I didn't really make any super major changes. So yeah, I hope that's a little bit helpful. I'm sorry I didn't really edit all of the coloring. It's just that would take me a little while. This picture is by Thorn Rose, and this picture is really, really cute. I really like the coloring, and the eyes are beautiful. There is one little thing I want to point out, and that is the nose. The nose is very, very far to the right. But if we think of this as the center of her face, then her nose should be somewhere closer to like this area. And we're just going to move her nose over just a little bit. And I might also move her mouth up just a little bit. It looks a tish low. So here's the before and here's the after. They're very minor adjustments, but I hope they're helpful a little bit. One last thing I wanted to mention is her back. So here we have the shoulder, and then we have what seems to be her back right here. It seems to be sticking out quite a bit, so her arm's coming forward. And her back probably shouldn't be sticking out that much. It would stick out a little bit, but we wouldn't see it as much as we do. So if we think of her neck as being around here, and then it goes down into her shoulder area, and then it goes down into the back, it kind of all goes like this. So here's the back before, and here's the back afterwards. So yeah, I hope that's a little bit helpful, and I really, really like your character. It's very cute. This last picture is by Brianna, and I want to start off by saying that your color scheme is very, very pretty. I love the kind of pinky skin tone of the blues and the teals and the green, and it's very pretty. So what I wanted to discuss for this picture is the anatomy a little bit. One thing I wanted to point out is her ear location. It is very high up, so if we think about the structure of her head underneath her hair, it probably looks something a bit like this. So then it's going down into the neck, like that. So her ear is very high up on her head. So I'm going to take it and move it down just a little bit, closer to where her jaw meets the cranium. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology. I'm just saying words. So here's before and here's after. The ear is just a bit closer to the head and where it should be. The next thing I wanted to discuss is her rib cage. Now when the arm is up, kind of like this, the rib cage can extend quite a bit and be pretty prominent. I guess it's not really the rib cage extending. I don't know. The muscles and all the stuff in here can kind of make a shape that becomes very prominent. But in this case, I feel like it might be a little bit too prominent. So if I was going to adjust it, I would bring it in a little, like this. And I also feel like the curve of the torso is going a little too far in. It probably shouldn't go much more than the halfway point of her body, which is about right here. And then it goes down into her waist and then into her bum area, which we'll discuss in a little bit. So I'm going to edit her torso to kind of follow this shape a little bit. Another thing I kind of want to point out is that the way the arm is going into the torso, so for the armpit area, for this back part of the armpit, you have kind of the, what is it? The lat muscles. So kind of going into the armpit. I never draw arms like this, so bear with me. For the chest also kind of goes up into the armpit area. So it's all kind of one line. Like, you don't have to draw it all as one line, but I imagine it all as one line going like this. I'm just gonna kind of keep making small adjustments to the arm until I get something that I feel like looks decent. I probably should have grabbed some photo references. When drawing poses, photo references can be very helpful. I might just try to blend out all of my colors here. So I hope this looks pretty decent. I'm not an expert on armpit anatomy. It's one of the areas I haven't worked on very much. People that know the anatomy there are probably screaming at their computers. But yeah, I hope it makes a little bit of sense.
So basically, I just kind of connected the breast tissue up into the armpit and kind of made them one thing. And then the armpit is kind of going like this. And we also kind of have the bicep. Or is that the bicep? We have the shouldery muscle up here that hooks down into here, going across like this. And then we have the bicep, I think is right here. I don't know what this is. I don't know my muscle terminology.
The before, and here is the after. Lastly, I wanted to discuss the legs just a little bit because with the way her legs are going, they don't look like they're connecting to the same spot. So if I were to draw how they look like they're connecting right now, it looks like this leg in the back is going like this, and then the other leg is kind of going like this. So if we were to imagine her bum underneath the dress, I would have it go like this. And I would need to adjust her leg position a little bit because it's a little bit to the right. And if her other hip is here, it's going down like this. So this would be the back leg. And then for her other leg, it'd be coming from the same area and going like this. So now I will quickly adjust the legs to my rough sketch. For her skirt, I'm going to kind of change how it's moving because how it's wrapping right now kind of suggests where her leg position is. So I'm going to change that. Okie dokie, so here's the before. In the before, the ear was a bit higher up. The rib cage was a little bit more prominent, and this leg was a little bit more shifted to the right. And so in my adjustment, I moved the ear lower. I kind of changed the armpit and rib cage area. This area can be really tricky. And I also adjusted the leg just a little bit. So I hope that's a little bit helpful. So those are all the critiques I have for this video. I hope that they were helpful and that they made sense and that they looked okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. And if you want me to do another one of these kind of videos in the future, please let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!